Well, we're joined by Wael Al-Qadi, the club president. Good afternoon, Wael, and welcome back to the MEM.
Good afternoon,
one of many visits.
Thank you.
It's coming up to the second year, two-year anniversary, if you like, of you joining the club. And can we go just step back a couple of years and you talk us through your thoughts at that time? I think it was concluded on the Thursday, signed on the Friday, and there was a game on the Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, it was on, I believe, the Thursday, the 18th of February. I spent the whole day at the lawyer's offices in London, trying to get the deal concluded, and it's finally at 11:19 p.m. We got confirmation that the deal went through. So next morning, Friday morning, early, we left London to come down to Bristol. There was a press conference organized, and it all started off from there. And then the next day was a game against Morecambe. Started off really well. We went 1-0 down, and half-time was like, oh no, we can't start off with a loss. But luckily it ended well, 2-1. So.
Can you remember, the Friday in particular is when we at the club really knew about it. There'd been rumours up until that point, but it was actually happening. We came into it Friday morning, given press releases and everything, and as staff, we didn't really know you and know of you,
yes,
or what on earth was happening. I mean, it must have been a whirlwind for you as well, meeting so many people.
Yeah, I mean, I came in and I was introduced to everybody in the other side of the stadium, in the bar there, and many faces, new faces to get introduced to, and it was just a really crazy day that day.
and certainly raised expectations of supporters, I think, and maybe that hasn't gone away.
Yes, the media, you know how media are, Keith. I mean,
you were described by several of them as a multi-millionaire family, weren't you?
Billionaire.
I do apologise.
Yeah, so, that's just media for you. And we said from the beginning it's evolution, not revolution. And some media outlets were saying, we're now the 6th richest club in England. And, it was unfortunate that they did that because they kind of put some, expectations that were not realistic on the club, and we always said from day one that we're going to do things quietly but surely. So.
Did that put pressure on you and your family?
We just went about it working and trying to achieve things, but the pressure comes from, having this out there that there is going to be an expectation that you're going to be the next Man City, and it's kind of unfair, but it is what it is, and we move on.
So that date, February the 19th or February the 20th, is that in your diary? Is that something you celebrate?
Of course, yeah. It was a huge day, and a historic day for me. Yeah.
It was a great end to that season, wasn't it?
Yes.
It couldn't have been written any better.
No, and at the time we were mid-table, and we had a fantastic March. I think we won 6 out of 7, and that put us straight into the playoff positions, and it was just an incredible finish to the season. And
the final day again is something that will stay with you, I'm sure.
Yeah, and it's what it's all about. It's great.
Just go back again, because I wondered, can you remember what your thoughts were coming into the club, and whether those thoughts or expectations that you had, have they been fulfilled?
Well, I mean, my passion and love for the game, and my ambition, when I arrived at the club, it has so much potential to fulfill. That's my expectation, to fulfill that potential. And so far we've been building the club up slowly, and it's going to be a long journey, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Have there been any major surprises along the way?
Well, I mean, every day in football there's something new going on. I mean, not even every day, every hour there's something new. So it's never quiet, let's say.
Yeah, I mean, I think your mantra, evolution, not revolution, was also picked up, and it would be fair to say I think that's what's happened over these 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, if you look in football, it takes a long time to turn things around. I mean, I've been involved in my federation for a very, very long time, and it takes a long time to get things moving in the right direction in football. Because if you don't build it properly, things start going wrong. So you have to make sure that things are done right.
The club is obviously in a much healthier position now than it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Some people might disagree with that, but I think the club was teetering on the brink of maybe going out of business a couple of years ago.
Well, you know, it's with all that was going on, with the situation with the club, with the legal issues and dropping out of the league into the conference, the club was in a difficult situation. But now we look forward, and we're well established in League One, and we aim to, you know, we're ambitious. We aim to make this club go places.
Football supporters being what they are, and I don't think Rovers supporters are any different, always expect more. Do you think they expect too much too soon?
I think they expect us to be
supporter as well.
In the Champions League in 3 years. So, is that the correct math? Yeah. So yeah, I mean, football fans are football fans. So, I mean, everybody has opinions, and that's why we love the game.
Yeah. Now, I think I would describe you as a hands-on owner. I think that's a fair assessment. You're not here all the time, but
I'm not here physically all the time.
Yeah, you have a team of advisors who keep you informed as to what's happening on a daily basis.
Yes, I mean, I'm informed about everything that goes on in the club, so involved in everything. Is
it frustrating that you're at a distance and you can't do something about a situation yourself?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah, you know, like going and getting a car and getting a player you want to sign to come to the club immediately and sign him. But other than that, yeah, I mean, we have good people at the club and doing their best for the club.
I think a lot's happened in those 2 years, and yes, we're on an upward trend, I think. I think there was major disappointment amongst the support base when the stadium at UE fell through. Yeah. And now people are saying, well, what is Plan B? If Plan B is to develop the Memorial Stadium, what's actually happening?
Yeah, well, you know, the UE Stadium fell through because we didn't feel it was right for the club, and that's the only reason.
I think we've accepted that, and people have moved on, and
right.
we know that won't be revisited.
Yeah, and people keep on saying we don't have a Plan B, you see. Yeah, we do have plans B, C, D, and E. We all know that we need new facilities, and we are working behind the scenes to achieve that. It's just going to take time, and rest assured that we are working behind the scenes on it.
I think, yeah, but people think because nothing is made public, there's a lot of inactivity behind the scenes, but that is not the case.
You know, we cannot make things public because it's all, you know, it will affect certain negotiations or certain plans. So once there is something to publish, we'll go with it. So
training ground as well. Again, a period of seeming inactivity, but there are positive signs there. You've appointed a project manager now.
Seeming, I mean, and you know, to some people maybe 1 month is way too long to get this project up and running. But you know, it's we've appointed the project managers. Last time I told you we were talking and assessing. We've now appointed the project managers, who in turn have appointed their own team of designers and architects, and it's full steam ahead. I
mean, you backed Darryl on transfer deadline day, although it was actually the day after when the two players arrived, with Tony Craig and Carl Bennett. And you have an interesting story there, because you were out for a meal with your sister-in-law and your wife.
Yes, the wife forgot it was deadline transfer day, so she invited us to her sister's place for dinner, and I spent the whole evening on my phone asking about the players, where they reached, and I knew they'd signed, but for some technical issues we couldn't announce till the next day. But I was being bombarded by fans asking, you know, what have we done? Why haven't we signed anybody? And once the deadline passed, you know, some fans really got upset, and I was like in a position, I knew we signed the players, but we couldn't announce, and the fans are upset, and I couldn't do anything about it. And so we had to wait till the next day until it was announced. Everybody calmed down. And,
when you say they're upset, I think you had some quite nasty messages.
yes, I mean, there were some quite nasty messages, but I think next day they were happy. So.
And did those people apologise and eat their words?
Well, some did, and some just didn't get back in touch, or I don't know. As long as they're happy, you know, with the signings,
I mean,
which we all.
how do you feel about criticism on social media platforms? Because you're a frequent user, and you're open to criticism, praise as well. But
Yeah.
I mean, how do you feel about that criticism?
Well, I mean, let me tell you something. For every person that does criticize, I mean, there's probably hundreds more that that talk well and, you know, appreciate and support. So it doesn't bother me, the criticism.
So is it important to you to be on those social media sites?
Well, I think so, because, you know, I mean, I'm in touch with fan base, and most of them are, you know, proper fans, and you know, it's important to keep in touch with them.
Just looking at the current season, how would you describe it so far?
Well, I mean, now it's you know, we have 3 months left of the season. I think the team is on the up, and we're really looking forward to the run-in. So
it's been a bit of a roller coaster, hasn't it, this season?
yeah, I mean, with the inconsistencies, but yeah, they're looking good. I mean,
I'd just like really to ask you about again one of the transfer deadline days signings, Tony Craig. We're staying in the same hotel as you in Bristol last week, wasn't he?
yes, and
he mistook you for someone else, I think.
yeah, I was in the same hotel in the lobby with some friends, and he walks in, and of course I recognize who he is. I hadn't met him yet, so he comes up to me, and I was like, oh, well, I'm pretty impressed. He knows who I am, and he comes up to me and goes, are you the BBC interviewer? I was like, no, I'm the president and owner. And he was like, oh, no, I messed up here. But yeah, it was quite funny.
Yeah, he was taken out on a boat ride, I think,
Yeah.
afterwards. Just looking, do you have any regrets about these 2 years? Do you wish you hadn't got into ownership?
None whatsoever.
No?
No, none.
So it's all positive still?
It's all positive. Yeah.
And you're happy that this is a club that's going places in the future?
Yes, I'm very optimistic and confident, and really happy to be here. No regrets whatsoever. People are fantastic, fans are great, and you know, we have a great manager, great staff, great players, and I'm really optimistic about the future.
So the evolution continues?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Wael.
Thank you.